accepting and reserving to Loretta Boyle Getchell and her husband, Frank Getchell, a life estate for the duration of their lives in the real property location at 3 Laurel Lane, Barrington, New Hampshire, together with all household goods and accessories located therein. So what's that saying is, Frank and I own everything in our apartment. This is not homestead property to the grantors. This is a non-contractual transfer pursuit to something such, and is therefore exempt from real estate transfer tax. 2013.
So would you prefer that people come over to visit you at your house?
Sure, they can visit me.
Would you mind if I came to visit you?
Of course not.
And John across the street, John Ibers?
Can I?
Do you remember when John Ibers used to visit you at your house?
I don't remember when he visited me, but he certainly can if he wants to.
Okay.
Anybody can visit me. Nobody should be shut away. Visit me. And if they call the cops, that's their problem. They're against the law. Can I keep this paper? Okay. Then anybody can visit me. And if the cops come, I'm going to show them this. All right.
And that letter, the 3-page letter that you received, what exactly did that say from Annabelle?
I don't remember. I don't have my pocketbook. I can't remember things. I'll have to look it up.
But I remember you were telling me it was something about she wanted her own privacy, didn't want to be bothered.
Oh, I forget what is in it, but I'll look it up and I'll bring it over.
Was that disturbing?
Well, yeah, because nobody in my family ever made letters like that. We're all friendly. I never was shunned out by anybody. Yeah, she's the first one that ever sent me a letter saying that she didn't want to be friendly. I just was friendly with her. I wasn't visiting her all the time. But now she doesn't even want me talking to her. That's what that letter meant.
Now, tomorrow I was instructed to call the police to make an appointment to speak with Chief Joy. He's a very nice man, Chief Joy. And I've been communicating with him to the best of my ability. Would you mind telling him the story?
No, I don't mind.
Okay.
You pick me up tomorrow?
Sure. Well, as soon as I make an appointment, I have to call in to make an appointment.
You call me and my telephone should work. I don't get many calls, but my telephone should work. Because I had somebody call me. I get so few calls that I called one of my kids and I said, would you please call me because I'm not sure if my telephone's working. And they called and it worked. So my telephone should be working.
Now, I've got some spare time. So after we go to see Chief Joy, do you want to go down to the place to buy fabric or anything?
Not that I know of. I'll see if I got anything on my list.
Last time we got quite a bit of stuff.
Well, I probably got a list in my pocketbook. I got to tell Colleen that I'm going to be with you tomorrow because I think Colleen's coming tomorrow. Not for anything special, just to visit.
Good.
And take me shopping if I need to go shopping. But I'll go with you if I need any. I think.
Okay.
I'll check my list.
Excellent.
I'm so sorry about this happening. And I hope the police understands that we got to be close because I can't hear good. things that needs to be checked. There's nothing on this side. In this side, I can hear if you're close and if there's not a lot of background noise. Because my head is wired. I don't hear it from the ear. It's only from this. It all goes out from this. It's a special rig that wires, my brain is wired from the back of my head to the front of my head. I saw a picture of it once, and they wired my head connected to my ears. But I had 2 or 3 of these things, but this is the only one that works steady. I have another one, but it keeps skipping, so there's got to be a loose wire in it. And I think I have an appointment, and it could be next month. Colleen takes me, and he'll probably replace it. So I'll have a spare. Because if I fall down and break this, I will have nothing.
You don't have any, you had 2 before?
I got 2. I still got that, but it doesn't work. But off and on it skips. Because I had it on yesterday, but it kept skipping. Didn't hear everything every time.
I made ginger dandelion tea.
That's good. I gotta go home. Family.
What's that?
Bonnie? That says Bonnie on it. Ask her if this concerns to family I don't understand. What does that mean?
To revisit. You don't mind that we would record your statement for the police?
For me to get permission for you to record what I'm saying? Yeah. Am I being recorded?
If you don't mind.
I don't mind. This is wet.
Oh, that's right. Let me get you a copy of that. Because we talked about that earlier. We just didn't get that section. That's very important.
Yeah. I feel bad for you people. You gotta remember that I forget a lot of things. I don't know what way. There's a fight in the family. Not a fight. There's a disagreement between you and Annabelle and Bonnie.
Yes.
Is that right? All right. See, I don't understand what it's all about, but you can explain it to me. Because I'm losing it mentally. I forget. This is a letter. You wanted to see a letter that somebody wrote to me? Oh, they wrote to me? This is a letter that Annabelle wrote to me. You can read it and then you can understand.
Okay. Anyways, what I was saying before we got our coffee was that I was on the phone with the police, and they are happy that we are recording and documenting the truth about everything, because they needed to know the truth.
The truth about what?
About all of the problems that we've had, because there's a lot of conspiracy, speculation, hearsay.
Between you and who?
And the neighbors.
Other than Annabelle and Barney?
Well, there's Annabelle and Barney, and then there's John Dolmat, his son Ryan, and I don't know his daughter's name. She's in the third house back on Hope Drive, but her husband's name is Mike. That's John Dolmat's son-in-law. And John had told me years ago when they were first building over there that they all had problems, that Mike was a pretty angry person, to put it nicely, but he said that he's a good father and I guess a good husband to
Who's a good father and a good husband?
So this guy by the name of Mike.
Okay, doesn't know.
and I had a problem with him recently, which the police had to come over. And he came up and he's yelling, apparently he was drunk. But he was ranting, yelling, swearing. All of the children in the neighborhood, the wife, my family, they feel threatened. Threatened such that our guest, Doug, had to come down, who was employed at the sheriff's department. And he advised me to call the police. And I didn't want to because I'm trying to settle problems between the neighbors and get rid of these. But the problem that I was able to explain to the police this morning that called me is that the neighbors, everybody seems to call the police and they talk loud, they complain, but I don't, okay? So they're hearing all of this from the neighbors. And so it seems like the common denominator is there must be something wrong with me because everybody's complaining. And what I've been trying to do is to explain to somebody in the town, an official. So I've targeted Chief George Joy. He's a very nice guy.
Police chief.
Yes, I spoke with him a few times about, nothing that really pertains to all this. But I figured that we'll go down and we'll talk to Chief Joy and we'll get it all out on the table and hopefully we can settle all the differences. Because to tell you the truth, I don't even know what the differences are. I have no clue.
We're not going to court, in other words. We're just going to talk. You're just going to talk to somebody?
When we talk to Chief Joy, yeah, you and I will
going with you.
we'll go down and just, we're going to set up that appointment. We talked about this yesterday, but I know.
Forget.
I understand.
When we get an appointment and I can.
Yeah, I'll let you know. He'll be calling me. He's got a message to call me back.
All right.
Okay. And so, so what we'll do is we'll go to him and we'll explain things because I think that he's the one that makes decisions what happens. I'm not entirely sure what the procedure is, but if he can intervene to put everything to rest, that would be the best thing for the entire neighborhood. Because I believe that it wasn't originally Barney's problem or John or Ryan or Mike. I don't believe these people originated the problem. I believe it was the fella down by the dam by the name of Matt Nusslinder, because he spread a rumor. He spread a rumor around, and these people are gullible enough to believe it. Kind of like the people voting for Donald Trump. Everybody believes, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. It's just the way people are today, and that's why I took an early retirement, is because I have a hard time dealing with people that are less than honest. And so anyways, they're very pleased that you had agreed to record on video to get the facts out, and I'm going to ask you today, is it okay? Do you mind that we record?
What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about just the relationship that we've had with Frank. Remember, we go back with Frank since 1998, when I put the driveway in 1998, and we've all shared. But anyway, do you mind if we? I
don't mind.
Okay.
As long as I know what we're talking about.
I know. I've got a very bad memory too, especially with names, because I've had, as far as we know, I've had too many strokes. M-I-N-I, many strokes. Once upon a time, I could stand up and do public seminars. I used to do seminars, and I was really good at it, and people would have me do seminars for them and their product. But ever since those many strokes, I have a hard time remembering names, especially.
Well, mine is, I haven't had any strokes, but I'm just 94 years old, and I'm just the last 6 months that I'm losing memory and tendencies. But I probably can remember something that happened years ago better than I can what happened yesterday.
Right, me too. Well, this is the reason that we're trying to get it recorded.
Okay.
Is because if something happens to you, you remember, you probably don't remember the same day that Annabelle came running down to record me mowing the lawn alongside the street is the same day that I was mowing and you were walking along the street and you came over and we spoke about this. And I don't even know where I'm going. See, I lose I get talking and I lose it too. It's so frustrating. So I understand that. I understand that completely. But anyway, for us to be able to document it, and thank you very much for being willing to record the truth and get it out there before anything's too late. You know, you better not die, because you're probably my only friend left. You know, everybody talks so bad and believes everything they hear. But just an FYI, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you a couple of, before we get into this, I'm going to show you a couple of envelopes that proves that I have been trying really hard to mend the differences, okay? And people have refused, but I'm going to show you. Hold on. So you remember John Ibers across the street?
Yeah, John Iver.
Yeah, and
He
you.
still lives there.
Yes, yes.
Up on the hill.
Right, right.
I'm not close to him, but I know who it is.
Well, he told me that he was pretty upset that he used to come and visit you all the time until Barney told him he couldn't.
Why
And then-
couldn't they?
I wish I knew why they put a restraining order against me that I can't come over and visit you. I am at a loss.
Whoever put that order out?
Barney did.
Barney put an order out? That,
Yes.
That I'm not to have any visitors?
Well, it's not that you can't have any visitors. It's he restrained. He restrained.
Just personal people.
They came to me and said that I'm not allowed to come onto the property. I can't come in to visit you. John, he told John. I mean, he actually took police action against me, legal action, where the police came over and they told me, he handed me a complaint and said, if you ever go on to that property, your property again, then I'm going to be arrested.
But it was my property and I didn't give the order, so how does he get legal right to have an order like that?
He would have to have your permission.
He didn't get my permission.
Okay, I know that, but the police didn't know that.
Oh,
So that's why we're recording this, is because the police needs to know.
all right. I want to know what I'm going to talk about. That's right.
Absolutely,
All right,
absolutely.
that's what I want to know
So-
from you.
All we want to do is make sure that the truth comes out, the facts. I have nothing to hide. I have, to my knowledge, I have done nothing wrong
No,
to
you
anyone.
haven't.
Thank you. And whenever I ask any of these people, like Barney or Annabelle or John or Ryan or this guy, Mike, the son-in-law, who's absolutely horrible. I recorded through the woods, him yelling and screaming, swearing. I'm so sick of you, Rick. I'm so sick of you. You effing this, you effing that. I'm so sick of you. I'm sick of... He went on, I recorded, it was a 17-minute video I recorded. He ranted. And not once has he presented any reason why he is sick of me or mad at me or anything that I've done wrong. But I suspect, you see, John, according to John's son Ryan, John got hit in the head with a rock on the construction site. So they are saying that John has some issues. Well, John collects, according to Ryan, I don't know personally for sure, that he collects Social Security disability, but he also works a full-time job. Right. But, you know, that's none of my business, I guess. I don't know. I'm not crossing that line. You know, what they do, that's their business. Until they cross the line. And they've crossed the line. So, John, the one that got hit in the head, the father, he came over and when we were down at the river one time and he was throwing a fit about a swing that I had down there that was on the other side of the stone wall, which appeared to be on their side. And I moved it quickly. that was the first little upset. It's like, why is he upset? Because I've helped him tens of thousands of dollars worth of construction over there, letting him borrow my equipment, helped him all the time. I'm a good neighbor. Matter of fact, one time he comes over and he hands me an envelope with a thank you card that was loaded with cash. It's, I don't know, $500-600. And I made up a card and I brought it back over and I said, this is not a neighborly thing. I says, you don't get paid to be neighborly. And I gave him the money back and I never heard from him. And I used to bring bread from Fantini's bakery and put it on his door because he loved it. You know, I've done good things. Why are these people mean to me? So John comes over 2 or 3 years ago. I'm putting the septic system in, and he comes through the woods with his camera. And Yan's out there. I'm down in the hole, and Yan's out there. She catches him, and she attacked him. No, John, no, you're not going to do that. You stay on your side, or whatever it was. It's like, here's this little Chinese girl that's just ranting like I've never seen before. It was kind of funny. It was definitely entertaining. And I told John later on that it was embarrassing as well, and I'm sorry that she did that. But he was ranting because he's got a dug well that's about 300 feet away. And of course, the legal limit is 50 feet, right? And he thinks that I'm putting in an illegal septic system. John, no, this is legal. Well, we'll see about that. I'm going to call the Department of Subsurface, you know, the state environmental services. And I says, you don't even have to. And I had a text message from the inspector, who happens to be a very good friend of ours. His name is Jay Boss. He's now retired, but he was the inspector. And it said on that, and I've got it on my phone. I'm going to save it. It says, hey, Rich, I'm in Maine today. I'll be down tomorrow to inspect your septic system, right? So I got out of the hole and I went over and I said, yeah, it's okay. We're not doing anything wrong. You know, he just concerned, whatever. I'm trying to smudge it through, right? And so I says, John, you don't even have to bother call the state. Look. And he read that. And of course he was embarrassed because he just threw a fit for no reason. And so he apparently was fine. But he came sneaking over, taking videos from behind the trees, which I don't care. You know, that didn't faze me. But then another time he comes over and he's out back, and I've got the little frog pond, a little cement pond where the drainage goes across. Because the property has always had a seasonal drainage through the land. The rock wall out here goes down and it comes up. And it goes down and up because the water always came through, and that's where the water ran, from that side to this side. And he thinks that this frog pond is sewerage or something that's crossing over onto his property. And I said, John, I says, you're paranoid. He says, no, I'm not. I says, John, I'm telling you, you're paranoid. I said, come on, I'll show you where this water's coming from. And he wouldn't come over. Okay, fine. So that was, I think that was last year. Doesn't matter. This year, I'm digging in the ground out here to put a storage unit in. It's a storage unit for tools and stuff, but it's also cold storage for Yan's garden, the vegetables, cold storage. And I didn't tell him, you know, I'm minding my own business, and he comes over, he crosses over. I never told him he couldn't come here then. And he came across the street, across the property line over the fence. And the reason he came over, or he used as an excuse to come over, was because I had sent him a $200 gift card, and it reads, Dear John and Susan, please take the family to Warren's. Enclosed is a $200 gift card that should feed the entire family. This popular restaurant is likely to close permanently late this year. The dining room, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, I sent him a $200 gift card, and this was on February, March, April, May, on May 29th. I mailed it to him. I know, I hate wasting a stamp to mail.
Where does John live?
Right next door over here. I forget the people that, you know, the man a long time ago that had the helicopter. Do you remember him? I forgot his
All
name.
right, I think that I know the couple. You have to walk up the path.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I walked up yesterday the day before she was home, and I just wanted to wish her a good winter. I said, I think I'm going to die within this year.
I know you think so.
So I
You
want to
better not.
say goodbye and thank you for being such a good neighbor.
You're so sweet. They came to Frank's funeral as well. I met them over there at Frank's funeral. Yeah. So anyways, I had sent him this $200 gift card. And I know it sounds like buying friendship, but I'm trying to put the dust to settle, you know? And I worked so hard. Even when Barney was out here, I go out there and I'm brown nosing, you know, I'm like groveling. Like, please, please be my friend, right?
Yeah.
And I recorded it. So we have that recorded. Yan recorded it. Thank God. Because there is so much in those videos that tells the truth, right? But anyway, back to this. So I sent the $200 gift card to John, and I also sent, he used that as an excuse to come over on the property to see what I'm doing. So he brought it back. He says, no, I don't want that. I says, well, give it to the kids. No, they don't want it. They don't need it. I don't even know if they knew about it, the kids. But anyway, he did not want to accept the gift card. Well, I've got a lot of gift cards, and Warren's is closing down, and I don't know what's going to happen, so I figured I'd give them to the neighbors. And I gave one to John across the street and to a lot of people. But he came over, and he never asked me what I was digging out there because I put some pea stone at the bottom. You know, I dug 9 feet down or 8 feet down. I always wanted to put a drive-in storage out there. Drive-in, because that's where we used to store the aggregates for the driveway and things like this. And I had a drainage underneath so we could put the building and no water would come up in case, even though it's high on the sand mill. And so he never asked, but he was like using this as an excuse to come over, and he's looking. He never said a word. And then I found out through Ryan, hearsay through Ryan, that he thought, Ryan came over and talked to our guest and thought I was putting in a septic system. So, okay, now I see. So, in other words, they're starting another rumor. The paranoia, this man John, he's paranoid, and now he's looking and he's thinking, well, he's in the construction business, and you know, you don't put a leach field 8 feet underground. It's like he should know better. But we didn't know anything about this. And so he leaves, and we find out that they think that I'm putting in an illegal septic system. And I said, oh boy, how am I supposed to do stupid? Okay, they're all around us. All right, he got hit in the head, fine. So then the mic comes out, and he's yelling and screaming, and he's accusing me of having an illegal septic system. Well, that tells me that John must have told them that I was putting in an illegal septic system, but nobody confronts me. Nobody even asked me, what are you doing? Until we were pouring concrete. Now, I had sent John an email, a text message, and I said, John, this was after Mike came ranting and swearing and screaming. The whole neighborhood could hear him. I mean, it's really loud, really, really loud. And I said, John, at this point, I think you and your family should not come onto my property until you can learn to be friendly and neighborly. That seemed to be like with diplomacy, you know, not saying I don't want you to come visit, but saying until you can be nice, don't come onto my property. And I don't want to go to the police and say I want a police action or the court and say restraining order. I don't want to do this stuff. It's like what Barney did, and it just upsets everybody. So diplomacy is something that I was never good at. So I've been trying to learn diplomacy, and I think I've been doing okay, I think. So anyway, he came over, we're pouring concrete, and he stands, because he came over under my property after I asked him not to. And he's up on there, and we've got the workers in the concrete truck, we're pouring concrete, and I'm sweating, working the concrete with my hand. Rick, what? Look up. And there's John standing up there looking down. He said, Rick, what are you building? And I said, storage. And I went back to work because the concrete was flashing. I mean, it was starting to get hard, and I was working for a few seconds. And I said, and I stood up and I turned to John and I said, and you thought it was a septic system, right? And he smiles and he does like a little itty bitty nod, right? And I go back and I said, John, I says, You must really think I'm stupid, right? Well, a man in the construction business thinking that's a septic system 8 feet below surface, that's stupid. Okay, but I'm not about to tell somebody to their face that they're stupid. I'm not in here to irritate. So the point is I think that John told his family that I'm over here doing this illegal activity, putting a septic system, and the family, he never told them that I wasn't, even though he knew. Okay? And so I'm thinking that this is what they call defamation of character, where somebody defames you by telling people stories that's not true, and then it having an adverse effect, which it has obviously had a very serious adverse effect, like this Matt Newswinder down by the lake. I believe he's the one that started all the rumors. And this is why I want to speak to Chief Joy. You know, they need to know. I've been in this town since 1978. And my stepmother, she was a bad person. Everybody loved them because my father was a real, he was pretty popular in town. But Fred Knight, you remember Fred Knight?
That name's familiar.
Knight's Garage? He's the only person that ever told me, he says, Rich, he says, don't you worry about it. Because Sylvia used to talk bad about me. He says, we know the truth. The only person in this town that ever said to me, or ever acknowledged that they knew she was...
Hey, Rich.
Yes.
I gotta go to the store and get some,
Yeah. I'm up here with Loretta, so, give us a half hour.
Alright, no problem. I'll be back later.
Okay. That's my guest. So he's going to the store, so no worry. And so, so there's a history here of people talking bad about me. But nobody ever heard my side of the story. I've never been given the chance. So all the time the police come over here, I try communicating, try, but they're always in a hurry. So the other day when they served this patrol, Noah Tougas, Tougas, this says, knowingly entering onto the property of 3 Laura Lane, that's your home, knowing that me, is not licensed or privileged to do so in defiance of a trespass notification which was served in hand by Officer Berry, B-E-R-R-Y, a police officer in the town of Barrington, on 5/5/23. Well, now that we know that you have the life estate, they had no right to serve me. No right. They had no right. They had no right to complain, but the police have no right to serve me because this complaint was from somebody that has no right to make a complaint.
Well, what's it all about? Tell me in your language. What is that about?
This. Well, okay, again, I mowed the lawn on the side of the road, and Annabelle was videoing me saying...
Oh, Annabelle recorded, it took a picture of you mowing the lawn
next to the
beside
road. Right. And when you go out there, you can actually see where I mowed. The grass is very, very high, and then it's mowed, right? Which is perfect, because I got a picture yesterday that shows where I mowed. And this officer said, yes, I've already seen that. But if he's seen it, then he obviously knows that I was on the town property, not their property, because it's obvious this is not their property. So why would he have a right, or why did he feel he had a right, to serve what I just read? And that confuses me.
I know it, and Annabelle doesn't own it, though they do own it now because I signed it over to them.
Deed. They have the deed, and
They have the deed.
and they have recorded ownership of equitable interest in the property. But as far as the rights to use the property, you have what they call trumped rights. You have all the rights,
Yeah.
the use of the property until you die.
Yeah, so
So in other words, did you ever give them permission to put the no trespassing signs up there?
no.
Fair enough.